Hey, folks, welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. How are you doing today, folks?
Going on another day.
Oh, I'm waiting for my motorcycle porn to come. I got a Competition Works exhaust, titanium handmade custom for my Aprilia RSV4. And I got the salad, what do they call it? A salad shaker.
Salad box.
Salad box. But they have for street bikes. They're called mass dampers from Advanced Technology out of Italy. You put them on your axle. They work phenomenal. Supposedly these things are the greatest thing. They supposedly cut out high sides by 90%. A lot of guys say them. They love them to death. And they're $400.
I just hope
the F4RC and the MV F4RC and the Aprilia RC4.
I just hope you're going to ride fast enough to actually fucking use it.
Oh no! You know what?
You got a MotoGP
you feel
bike.
my feet hit my hands. You know what I mean?
All the gear, no idea. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
At least I know this. I was good, but then I wasn't never even that good. I was just too big. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And now, if you said you're a boxer, I was a boxer. Yeah, it's slick. You could beat me. You couldn't even hit me. You know what I mean? But
yeah. But look. That is it. That is it. Yeah, it's been a kind of a slow news week in MotoGP this week. One thing I do want to talk about was that I did see a Facebook post on one of the MotoGP tech groups and all of this, and they were like, the Ducati GP24 is 30 seconds faster than the GP23 was last year, and all of this. And I think it's really, really, really irresponsible that people are putting that out there, right? The GP24 is not 30 seconds a race faster than the GP23. Sure, the race time that happened last season from Sachsenring, for example, was 30 seconds faster than it was for this year, was 30 or so seconds faster than the previous season, right? But also the GP23, like Mark finished like 4 seconds behind Pecco, who Mark finished 3 seconds ahead of his brother. You know what I mean? So instantly you're like, okay, so people were going on and saying, oh, how have Ducati made the best bike even better by 30 seconds and whatnot? Realistically, and just so people understand, that's tires. That's naturally just the tires have changed for the season. Yes, of course, the GP24 should have maybe 2 or 3 seconds over the course of a race. Of course, that's natural, but it's not 30 seconds. And you have these mugs going around the place believing Marquez is making up the difference between it. He's not. He's fucking not, lads. It is the tires are a thing, or that Alex Marquez or Bisecchi or whoever or Gigi Antonio is making up that. That's not the case. The case is simple as this: is that the first 13 riders across the thing in Assen were in the race were faster than Pecco's race time the previous fucking season. So it's not that anyone is closing the gap or making the gap. The tires have changed. So with that comes performance. Now you could credibly say the fact that Moto 3 and Moto 2 are using a very soft Pirelli tire, and that's gripping up the circuit as well. Do you know what I mean? So that is aiding it. But there is a massive change in the tire compound, and that is what is really, really helping increase the race. Like, there is no manufacturer that can increase their race time by 30 seconds in one season.
And I don't think it's the bike itself that's the jump 30 seconds or anything, because
no.
They didn't have the Ducati had everybody was short on testing to begin with. Then they cut it again. So how much better can you make the bike with no testing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, look, that is one of the points, but it's like their development, and the post was kind of going on to say that Ducati's development, they've got it right. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't ever mention that the fact that tires had changed. You know, and so I think, Jones, one of the points that I was kind of like, and like that is a group that is posted to by members of the Dorna MotoGP staff. Do you know what I mean? So it is a very, very reputable group that put out something like that. And I'm like, hell fucking no, that ain't right at all. Do you know what I mean? Have they improved 4 or 5 seconds over the course of a race distance? 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Secondly, saying that so they can hinder them some more. Say, look, they're so much better than we can.
Yeah, but no. But like this group is posted to by the likes of Crafar and them.
Yeah,
so
I know.
That level. So like it's really, really reputable to the group. But I was reading it today. I was like, fuck me, like Joe, that ain't right at all. Joe, that ain't right. That is poor standard of reporting. If you're going to say Ducati got everything right and now they're 30 seconds faster, and Joe Mark is not just Mark. They were saying other riders on the Ducati were making up that on the GP23s, and that's not the case. The tires are definitely a major influence there. Track conditions also. Have they got the development right? Yes, maybe. Like if everyone lapped like a robot and lapped at a full bike's potential, like Mark said, the end of the race, the gap should be 4 seconds if the bike is 0.2 of a second faster, the GP24 than the GP23. Yes, it should be 4 seconds faster, but that's not the case because every single person on that bike is a human, and humans make mistakes. So they're never going to get bang, 25 laps or 30 laps all at the exact same lap time. They're going to be plus and minus, as we know. So look, for me, when I'm just doing it, and I notice that people are like saying that I'm this, and that, and the other, but I'm very straight when it comes to like the fact of the matter is that the GP24 is not 30 seconds faster than the GP23. Mm-hmm. You know, and we've seen it. Multiple riders had race time faster than Pecco's time. The other thing as well that people are not taking into account between the race time for the 2024 race and the 2023 race, what always slows a rider down in a Grand Prix? How do they lose the most amount of time?
Battling.
Tire wear.
Yeah. No, battling.
Oh, battling. Okay.
Remember the last 5 laps of the Saxon Ring last year? Who was battling together?
Okay, I can't remember.
Had to be Pecco
and Jorge Martin. Jorge Martin won it, lads, from like 13,000ths of a second from Pecco. So they were fighting the whole way around and whatever. So that was, of course, going to interrupt race time. So again, it's not apples with apples. The race times this year are faster, but it's not because the bike is 30 seconds faster. I also got some feedback. Someone wrote me a lovely email asking me why did I hate Mark. And again, and I get sick of answering this question, right? I can sit here and I can lie to you, right? I don't like Mark's actions off the track, and I've been very open. And I'm not the only person. Credible people like Simon Crafar and all of that have said that Mark is very prickly, this, that, and the other, off track. I've always said he's done very good on the track. He's an excellent rider. Do you know what I mean? He has some nasty bad habits, like they all do. But again, this person said that because I said that Mark coming from 13th to 2nd was just good was because I don't like him. Incorrect. Marquez has made a habit of qualifying poorly or getting mixed up in qualifying or whatever and coming through the grid. Nothing about Mark coming from 13th place to 2nd place surprises me or makes me think it's outstanding because he's done that 3 or 4 times already this season, right? It's like seeing a hot naked girl for the first time.
It still makes it still shows that it's good.
But no, yeah, but my point is that it's like
you don't hate him.
No. Yeah. He's done it before. Like for me, like why I named like Frankie as rider of the day. I haven't seen Frankie fight like that, or Franco fight like
Years.
that in years, right? In
2020.
fucking years. And you're looking at it, and you're looking at a fella that's got the shit beat out of him, got fucking ridiculed by everyone in the fucking paddock and everyone in in media. And next minute, he's putting his arms out and he's fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will not give a guy credit for a one-off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
That lucky punch. You know?
yeah, but a rider of the day, you know what I mean? Like, he battled with Mark, he battled with NEA, he battled with Alex. He gave it as good as he got it during that race. That's as far as I'm concerned. People got past him. He fucked it back up the inside of him again, and he was on fire. Does that mean that I think that he is good for the championship? No. For me, rider of the day was someone that put in something that I went, fuck it, you know something, I can't believe he did that. I really genuinely can't believe. Have we seen Mark go from last to first, or 10 to second? We've seen it. It's been done. He's done it multiple times this season. And that was my point of, like, it does not surprise me. But when I go off and think about the race after, the person that stuck out to me was Frankie. Simple. You know, I won't apologize for my thoughts. Do you know what I mean? That's my fucking thoughts. Mark, I still think he's prickly off the track. Is he a great rider? He is a great rider. But again, you know, he looked into second place. Do you know what I mean? Jorge Martin crashed with 2 laps to go. Do you know what I mean? So, again, Pecco looked into first place. And I called it the way it was. Do you know what I mean? Pecco wasn't really... I think it was going to be a good battle, but I don't think he was going to catch Martin. I think Martin would have let off the brake in the last corner for sure. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I thought, you know, look, I just thought it was just something... And thank you for your email for sending it in and telling me that I'm wrong and that I hate Marc Marquez, but that's actually inaccurate. And, you know, these things kind of irk me.
Good. It's like I've seen along the lines. They tell me I hate the Japanese. I said, no, I just want a level playing field. I do not want to hear that they got any advantages that they don't deserve. Everybody has the same shit. Everybody gets the same advantages or different advantages. That's it. Everybody, no concessions. Christ, they got a budget's 300, you know, way bigger than everybody else's. I don't want to hear that they get this and that and everything else. You know what I mean?
So yeah, you wouldn't have seen this video, but I think it's... Oh, then yeah, you wouldn't have seen this video because it's one of my stockpile videos. But
no banning of anybody's tech or anything like that. I just want to say, everybody, if you can't hack it, too bad.
So there is no changes to the concession groupings for the second half of the season, right? Because there's a sense check halfway through the season. And I did a video, I think it might actually come out tomorrow. But I did a video and I just had, this is an interesting note. Yamaha have, I think, gone down. So they were at like 27% of the total constructor points scored. They're now at 21%. So they've actually gone backwards by 6%. Right. Honda were at 21%. They were at 21% and they're now at 16% of the total points scored for the manufacturer now, not the thing. So again, it kind of gives you an idea that even in points now, some of that is down to you have the likes of Luca Marini, you know, like the Repsol Honda team is the last team in the championship. They're 11th. They're being beaten by the satellite LCR team. You know, so kind of shows you the trouble that they're in. And if you look at Fabio Quartararo's points alone, Fabio Quartararo has more points on his own than the 4 HRC riders, 400 riders. So it's kind of a very bleak place, right? Now you could say for Yamaha they should be a little bit further up. Rins is not really acclimatizing to the bike how we thought he would. Has a couple of injuries, but again, look, it is interesting that even with the concessions, we're still not yet seeing it. And we know Honda are lost. We know Yamaha, they have a direction, but do they have the time to pull it off? And like with the massive queue of that they've pulled with getting Pramac, like I think for Pramac it's going to be Oliveira and Jack Miller. on the Pramac Yamahas next year, right? And I think they're just literally going to go, we don't want rockets thrown, we don't want rock stars in it. We just want those lads pounding around, getting us that data to drive us forward. Do you know what I mean?
Pretty much it. Yeah.
I thought Jack wants no part of that.
No, that's test rider. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be a test rider, but he's going to ride for Pramac, I would think.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're right.
Take
He
it.
wants to also race, is what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
As long as he's racing, you're saying he'll
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he doesn't want to just go around the track and just collect data. Like he wants to actually be in a race. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Go
But
on.
Honda, I think Honda's in a great spot because they have an honest review of what their bike is doing. You know, Yamaha, without
that's
Fabio,
they have nowhere to go but up.
I mean,
Well, we said I actually did a video for mid-season reviews for while I'm away, and I think part way through that video I said about Honda, I was like, we thought Honda were at rock bottom, but then they found the basement.
Yeah.
Because
Now they're
that's
reaching upper bottom.
Yeah, no. They're in the fucking basement of rock bottom now. Like, do you know what I mean? There is no, and it's very, very like Yamaha. Okay, you would expect Rins to be behind Fabio, right? You would just naturally expect that, right? He's new to the bike, yada yada yada. But kind of this point in the season, and I know he's injured now, and I'm not shitting on him, right? And I won't, but we would kind of expect him to see him close that gap a little bit to Fabio, especially in the points this season. Like I would nearly kind of expect Rins to be scoring half to 3/4 of the points that Fabio would. Do you know what I mean? That's where at the start of the season I would kind of have expected that's how the season would finish. Right now he's less. He's about an eighth of the points that Fabio has. So it's not going too well. But look, then second part of the season will always change that.
Did he sign yet? Did he re-sign?
No, but Lynn Jarvis said that he's keen to continue for 2 more years with him. So I think that's more of a done deal. I also think for me and Aldegar, that's going to be sorted out over the summer. I would be very surprised to see that drag on.
I don't think he'll switch teams or anything like that.
Huh?
I don't think he'll switch teams. I don't think he can switch teams, can he?
I think he would either go to VR46 or Grassini. You know, his manager kind of conceded that he would go to a place that he wouldn't expect a factory bike for his first year, but definitely for his second. So for me, I think that's why he's favorite for VR46. My understanding is that it was a done deal with VR46 and Fabio Di Gianantonio on a works bike next season. But that deal hasn't actually been announced yet. And you know how I get about these things, Joe, when you think everything is done, but it's not announced. Now, it could be announced in the next couple of days, for all I know. But for me, I think Ducati are going to be fighting hard to keep Di Gianantonio, because I know Yamaha and Pramac have rolled out the red carpet for him big time.
We need him.
He's already said he wants to stay with Ducati.
He's already said it, yeah, but that's to drive up your Yamaha price. Come on, Jake, you're a shrewd negotiator.
Yeah, I know. But he says, you know what? Though I say that is because he said it so early. You know, usually that's
definitely a sign that Yamaha are definitely flirting with him. But I think, I think Digi. Like, I have an awful lot of respect for Digi, and I know people are like, "Oh, he's done fuck all," right? I have a lot of respect for him, right? Because when you're in a position in MotoGP that all the negative news surrounds your seat, like Marquez moving to Grassini, that's Digi gone fucking out of the thing, right? And he was backed into a corner, and he had to either fight or fucking die, right? And he fought, right? And he changed Ducati. Like, he made it.
He fought with Pecco. That's big.
He beat Pecco in Qatar, wasn't it?
Yep.
But my point was that, you know, when the time you really, really have to deliver, there's very few people out there that can really fucking deliver it, right? And he found it, and he did, and he capitalized it, and he put Ducati in a position towards the end of the season to be kind of weighing into VR46 kind of saying, you need to take this guy.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? You really need to take this guy.
Yep.
And
Yeah, he said it in the interview. He was like, I haven't been here that long,
he
but
continued on
hey,
with it, you know.
yeah,
He continued on with his
Yeah.
progress. It wasn't a one flash in the pan. I did it one race, and now okay.
yeah. And like I think, I can't wait to see him develop a little bit more.
He's the right size.
He's the right side. Yeah, look, he's a good rider. He's a pleasant rider. He's he's I think he's definitely going to be an asset. And there's definitely a tug of war between Ducati and Yamaha going on for his services. I'm going to shock you now. Because you wouldn't have seen this video yet because this video went out Sunday, but we're shooting this on Saturday. Did you know that KTM are still running the first version of their carbon frame since Misano last year? They have not changed the frame. They've changed little bits of it, but the main core part of the frame has not changed.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I know. It's such a new thing, you know. It's how do you surmise it?
So I was thinking we should see a lot more from them. Like this season has been kind of like mediocre, I guess.
Yeah, it in the points they're down about 1% in the points what they achieved last season. So in the way of concessions, manufacturer points, and stuff like that. So yeah, but I was reading a Jack Miller article, and he was like, you know, they're running out. He can start to feel the front again, and he can feel it, but then they're just running out. They have no grip. They can't from the rear. They have no mid corner speed, you know, braking stability and stuff like that. And I was like, it's interesting. And then he was just mentioning, he's like, we're still on the same in the first version of the you're back.
Okay. All I saw was squiggly lines for a while. That's fine.
All right, fair enough. But they're still on the first version of that frame, and I thought that was kind of weird that someone like as progressive as KTM are in their aero and their this and their that, and they're struggling with major vibrations and chatter, that they haven't already looked at the frame. Like that first version came out of Misano. That's about 10 months ago. Do you know what I mean? That's a long time to be on the same frame, especially with a winter break in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? You can maybe say, okay, start of the year to end of the year, you know, but and especially the trouble they're in with those vibrations.
And wasn't one of the main assets of the carbon frame was you could change it real quick?
Ooh.
Am I thinking the tube frame?
No, you could change it quick, but I suppose with the carbon frame, you can adjust the flexibility and stuff much easier, right? And that's why I'm kind of a little bit shocked that it's the first version of the frame. So just thought it was interesting what he's saying there. While I'm not surprised what they have done booting Jack out, I think it caught Jack off guard. Do you know what I mean? In the way, and this is why I have serious worries for Maverick, right? Like they told Jack, do not talk to anyone else. We want to keep you in the family. Right?
Yeah.
And then 3 hours before the announcement of Bastianini and Maverick, he got a phone call to say you're out. Do you know what I mean?
I thought about that. Yeah, I thought about that.
MotoGP, you know, they get a kick out of it. Hey, let's just tell them yes, and then just tell them no.
I think they wanted him as a test rider. They're like, don't go anywhere. We want to keep you here as a test rider, but just don't go anywhere.
Maybe so. Maybe, but I felt, I just think it was just maybe a low blow. Do you know what I mean? That again, and KTM have been known for doing this. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, look, I just thought it was an interesting thing that they were doing. Gigi Delinia then was also talking this week about having both Mark and Pecco.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like he'll never reply to the question about how he's going to handle them and this, that, and the other. But like what he said is that in his mindset now is that it's better to have the two champions or two people that are capable of being champion in the team, because what we've seen with all the sprint races and all of this is that if you miss a couple of races over the course of the season, you lose touch in the championship. And if one rider does injure himself and the other one is there to win the championship, or vice versa. And then the only thing that he was talked about the two boys was like, he was like, look, sometimes Mark is very good at going around left turns. Everyone knows that that's one of his unique selling points, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he was just saying sometimes Mark is better on the brakes, sometimes Pecco is, and it's vice versa, and it's never consistently one is stronger than the other. There's sections and there's days and whatnot where one would have more pace, one would have better braking. And I'm like, that's fucking normal MotoGP riding. Like, do you know what I mean? Some days you're feeling it and some days you're not. Like, and I still think it's going to be fireworks. I think it's all going to be fine until such time as one of them is getting an upper hand over the other, and then the shit is going to start. I think it's a no-win thing for Pecco more so than anything else, right? Because if Mark beats Pecco, people are going to be, oh well, Mark is the best, and they think about it. If Pecco beats Mark, they're just going to turn around and be like, well, Pecco was the favorite of Ducati. Ducati wanted him to win. And I think that's the bit that I'm not looking forward to about seeing them. I want them to race and let the best man win, and whoever wins. And I genuinely believe that, like, all of this season and last season, I don't really care who wins. Do you know what I mean? As long as I see a good race, fair race between them, not acting the bollocks, I don't really I don't lose sleep if Jorge Martin beats Pecco. I don't lose sleep if Mark beats Pecco or Martin, or you know what I mean. It's just like, I want to see a good race and I want to see good, hard battling, fair battling. But I don't know. It was just one of those things. When I was reading the story, I was kind of going, it's actually like, people are saying, oh, if Pecco beats Mark, it will cement Pecco as a thing. And I'm like, for some it will, but for majority of Marc Marquez fans and people that are kind of going along this thing of where they can't understand where I'm trying to be fair, or call it as I see it, they're going to say, oh, well, Pecco was given special treatment. He's Ducati's boy. And you're like,
that's somebody with bias.
Yeah, but it just takes it away. And for me, I just want to see him race. This year.
Same thing I complain about somebody that they don't care who wins as long as they're on a brand. They want their Japanese brand to win, or no matter what. It could be shit races. It could be turn the whole series upside down. I don't care. I want that brand to win.
I just thought it was just the way when I was reading the conversation, it's kind of like, I can kind of see it what's going to happen there. It's going to be nice and cordial at the very start. One's going to get the upper hand, but I see that happening over the course of the whole season, right? Like, how many times do we see it with Jorge Martin and Pecco? Jorge goes up, Pecco falters. Pecco goes up, Jorge falters, and there's the ebb and flow, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. And then I was looking at the celebrations after in Gresini, right? And it was funny to watch, right? But I can kind of wrap my head around, like, the boys are doing that already in Ducati. It's just like, it happens, and it's they're all getting pissed and what after the race.
Mhm.
I don't see that continuing. I can see very quick the garage splitting. Do you know what I mean? And that
The walls
whereas
gonna go up.
whereas right now, let's just say for example, Bastianini does a good race. They're all inside having a fucking laugh and a Gary. Like Pecco's mechanics, Bastianini's. Do you know what I mean? There's no problems of freedom of movement and this and I can have the feeling that's going to change and that then becomes the problem. Do you know what I mean? Data is getting misled and stuff like that. And look, it happens to every car.
They're professionals. That shouldn't happen in a professional team where, you all should be for the rider, every rider, and the manufacturer as a whole.
Yeah, but that's very hard to police. That's very, very hard to police.
These aren't, because they're not fans up in the stands who want, whatever Mark Marquez does is golden. He can't make it do any wrong.
Mm.
I'm a Marquez fan, but when he toes, I'm on his ass. I'm like, yo, shit out.
Even Simon was. Everybody is kind of. I think they want to say something, but they may not because it's Mark Marquez. But the towing situation they need penalties.
They do, and like Pecco said quite recently as well, that it's the one thing that really irks a rider is someone towing, and like there is a major difference, lads, between a marker and towing. A marker is like maybe 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds up the road from you. Do you know what I mean? You're waiting for him to thing, and you're like, you can use him to gauge. Okay, he's braked now. 1, 2, bang. Do you know what I mean? And you have your marker, where you're hitting the lines, and like that just happens to be Pecco or a marker or whoever in front of you that is hot. If you're braking in the same sort of zones as him, you're carrying the similar speed, the gap is kind of being managed. That you're on a quick one. If they're on a quick one, that's not a problem. It's when you're within half a second of that person. Do you know what I mean? And that's for me is the fucking problem, because all you're then actually just doing, you're not looking at that person or what you're looking at where he's braking. You're trying to steal that little bit. Do you know what I mean? And it's just so fucking dangerous. Like you make a mistake. Like if we remember Sachsenring 2023, and I know Mark, or it was a crash, which was a little bit separate, right? But when these things go down, they're like a fucking missile, right? So if you're within half a second of someone and you lose the front, you'll fucking hit them. Do you know what I mean? Or they roll out of it for some reason. You're not going to have a chance to react to it. You know what I mean? You're going straight into it. So there's a lot of fucking dangerous points. But the bigger problem is that we have a saying here in Ireland of monkey see, monkey do, right? And if young lads in Moto 3 and Moto 2 are watching the big boys doing this and get away with it, why can't I do it?
Well, it's illegal in Moto 3, right?
Well, they give penalties in Moto 3. Now, Moto 3 was absolutely fucking ridiculous, right? There'd be fellas out there dawdling, right?
Yeah.
And there'd be 5 or 6 of them all together and just waiting to go. Like we've seen some riders make light of it, like Jack Miller. Do you ever remember the time where Mark was towing him, and he was like, "Come on!" But then he's asking for money for towing him, right? Do you know what I mean? So, like
they call it a taxi driver or something like that.
Yeah. It's just like blatant towing. It's just not right. It's not illegal because it's not in the rules, right? Needs to be put into the rules, right? The majority of riders don't like it. Now, saying that, Pecco never complained about towing Valentino Rossi. Do you know what I mean? So, and he did. He towed him quite a lot towards the end of Rossi's career, right? So we will call a spade a spade.
I mean, that's his mentor. Does that change as far as that situation because that's his mentor? Or is it
changes his overview. And listen, we've all done this. We've all had bias of where you'd fuck this fellow over for a $5 or $5, whereas you say to another fellow it's fine. Do you know what I mean? For the exact same sort of thing. We all have that conscious and unconscious bias and all of that. That's fine. I get it. But like, it's either going to be in as a rule or it's not going to be in as a rule. You know, you can't sit in the fence and say this, that, and the other. And we all remember, was it in Mugello, and Mark was blatantly following, I think it was Pecco, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? And he came through the pits and everything to try and break the toe, and Mark kept going. And you're just like, will you fucking stop? Do you know what I mean? Now, that to me, that's like you're being a prick. Do you know what I mean?
That's when Marquez stopped and he said, "Will you stop?" And he went anyway afterward. He took off after him anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it, but like, again, that's one of the things. Like, he was then putting a bike that shouldn't be up in that place. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And everyone just rode around him, if you remember, because the bike was fine for 2 or 3 laps, but he couldn't continue that pace on the Honda. So for me, look, and that's not directed at Marc Marquez. That's directed at anyone fucking starting this bollocks of towing, right? Which is becoming more and more of a problem.
That's why I always had respect for Fabio, because even when he needed the tow, he never took it.
Yeah.
He never took it. He would be 2 seconds out. I'm not doing that. Nope, not a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, you don't mind teammates like on a straight giving someone a draft, you know, but this tow your
teammate. I think that's what it's for. Tow your teammate.
Yeah, but like, again, your teammate's not going to be your teammate's not going to be right up your fucking exhaust. Your teammate's going to be 7, 8 tenths of a second. He's going to get the 2 or 3 kilometers an hour at the end of the straight that he might need. Do you know what I mean, to help him? But like, you're towing him, you're getting out of the way, and he's shooting past you. You're trying to give him an advantage. Now, the other side of the coin, and I did listen to, I did watch qualifying for World Superbikes, and Toprak's lap was just fucking unbelievable, right? Like, it was just like, I think it's nearly on MotoGP lap time around Donington, right? But I listened to Scott Redding, and now Scott Redding is a really good rider. He complains about his weight, but he's a tall fella. There's nothing you can fucking do about it. Do you know what I mean? You're either born pretty or you're born fucking ugly, right? Yeah. You can't fucking really change it, right? And he spoke about that he followed Toprak and he learned his lines. And I don't have any problem with people doing that. And he's like, following Toprak for a few laps, I figured out I was overriding the bike, trying to push the bike through here where he was letting. And for me, that's absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? That was in a practice session. You know, he wasn't right up his fucking exhaust pipe. It was this, you know. And then he was like, I was able to bring that into qualifying. And he qualified 3rd, I think, or whatever it was. So for me, like, that's fine. They're learning off each other. They're understanding. But like, you're under pressure to do a fucking qualifying lap, and you've this dickhead then that is sitting on your shoulder going, hey, and I don't care what anyone says, right? Another bike behind you, right up your arse, distracts you.
Yep.
You know, and it's just, for me, it's just not on. Like, it's qualifying. Let people go have their fast lap.
Yeah, you know, in the back of your mind, if I gotta hit the brakes for something, next guy could be plowing right in my ass. You know.
So, look, I think towing, they really genuinely need to do it, and they can do it anytime they want to, as it is a safety issue, because they can pull that on safety, no hassle, no problem there. Yeah. Excuse me.
But World Superbike, by the way,
I haven't watched it, so don't tell me.
But I can all I can say is this: the BMW really has made a jump. It's not just one rider with Toprak. If you look down the field, that bike is doing much better. I mean, they did a hell of a job over the summer. Whatever they did over the summer, that thing's all around better bike. Yeah, we always have look at the second rider. You can look at the second rider. You can look at the third rider. It's a better bike.
Not in the championship though. Not in the championship.
Yeah, World Superbike. It's that bike is better than he was. All day.
I don't know what's his current standings. I know Toprak is out front.
Yeah, where's Vandermark?
Oh God, hell if I know. I'm just looking at the race. Going, man, everybody's up front. You know what I mean? The last couple races, they've always seemed to be. They're just doing better. I honestly haven't been looking at
I'm pulling it up.
Pull it up for me.
Vandermark he's 9th. So
and for Vandermark, that could be good. You know what I mean?
So yeah. It doesn't really say that the bike. Yeah, there has been a leap, but is that the alien leap of Toprak? Like, do you know what I mean?
That's an alien leap. But I honestly think he would do well. I know he's slow. I know he did testing with Yamaha, and it wasn't up to par. But I feel like if you give him 2 years, we don't know. He could be.
I think I tend to agree with you, right? I think I don't think it's right for him to walk in. I know. Look, he's come out this week and he said that he's going to stay with BMW next season, right?
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do.
But like walking into a fucking shit pit of Honda at the moment is definitely not the place he wants to be.
No,
you know, realistically, I still genuinely believe that he thought he would get into Yamaha until such time that Yamaha turned around and said, like, we need experienced riders on the bike right now. Do you know what I mean? And I can see them giving Jack maybe a 1-year deal and maybe a stop rack for 26. Do you know what I mean? Give him 1 year when it doesn't really fucking matter. You know, we're changing regulations in 27. Do you know what I mean? Let's get your eye in, get your feel. Do you know what I mean? And then everyone kind of starts with some sort of experience for 2027. That would be my thing, right? Putting him in right now and having him learning on the job is not really what they need to do.
It's not ideal, but it's not ideal, but Fabio said they need a rookie. So in my eyes, you know, can he be the rookie? You know, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think they need a rookie. And I talking with our watchman.
I don't think it'll be too big of a jump because the 2027 bikes are going to be slower than the super bikes.
They won't be slower than the super bikes, not at all. Nowhere near it. Not at all. Like they're saying, they're expecting the first draft of the MotoGP engines to be about 40 brake horsepower below where they currently are. So they're not going to be fucking slower than the super bikes. They're going to corner faster. They'll be slower in the straight line, maybe. But lap time, I think I would only think be minimal. Now, saying that, Toprak today in qualifying, I think it was like a 24.6 or something. I must check Donington Park last time MotoGP was there. What were they doing? You know, just like as a gauge, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a pretty impressive lap time. And as well, he pulled the piss out of James Toslin because he got the lap time wrong, which I'm always polite and happy to see James making a fuck up. Yeah, so look, I think it would be nice for Toprak or Toprak to come to MotoGP. I think it definitely just has to be managed as a bit of timing, and I think the timing is critical because he is not a person that can come in and fail. If he comes in and fails, his career is legitimately you're no better than a superbike rider. Do you know what I mean? So it's a very important decision that he makes, that he's coming into the right team.
Yeah, I think it would be good for the sport. And I feel like he's bigger than World Superbike. He's doing things that I don't think anybody else is on his level in World Superbike. And it's kind of just like, could his talents be used more in MotoGP? You know,
100%. But I suppose where it is that he can't really do a Spies. Like Spies was brilliant in Superbike, head and shoulders above others. Never really shone in MotoGP. So he did okay. You know, he did well.
Race. That was it. That was a gimme. Didn't people fall down in front of him? And it was a hand
like Petrucci, and the amount I love Petrucci. Joe, I mean, again, he was good in super stock, I think.
Yeah.
Came to MotoGP. Okay, he was a bit big boned. He did okay in MotoGP. Do you know what I mean? He won race, but again, you would never have backed him as a horse for a championship.
No.
And I think that's kind of where Toprak needs to come in. Is like he is a very good level at. He can definitely has more talent than 50-60% of the current MotoGP field. However, he needs to be on a really good, solid package when he comes in, or else his stock value, down. Like, do you know what I mean?
KTM or Aprilia.
Well, they'd fuck him out. Like that's the thing. Like logically, you would think it would be KTM with the Red Bull tie-in that he has, right? Or Yamaha, right? But I'm just not sure.
Why not an Aprilia? Why not? It would also be good for a. I think. I keep calling him Trackhouse. Trackhouse.
Trackhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like there's a lot. Like when you look at it realistically, it's Trackhouse Racing and Pramac. They're the only 4 seats mainly left that are not partway decided, right?
Yeah.
I'm still somewhat convinced Raul Fernandez will stay. I know you're all trying your eyes up to heaven and saying, "What are you fucking smoking?" But
yeah. he hasn't proved this year though. But
I think he'll stay. I think Miguel Oliveira will go to
Pramac.
I thought he's already signed with Pramac.
No, he's not. No.
So another one of those rumor
bullshits. Yeah. But I think it's probably like it makes the most sense to bring Jack and Miguel there. Like they're not superstar riders that are going to be up the front end. They're going to be fairly somewhat consistent. It will be interesting to see how Jack will handle the switch over to an inline 4 and Miguel. Do you know what I mean? When that does happen. So like the big question for me is realistically that second seat in Trackhouse Racing. And like that's for me it's a massive question because I can see Mir going there. I can see Joe Roberts if he continues well in the championship.
Joe, we want to see Joe.
But I just haven't seen, and he did very well in Aston. He did a really good job, in Aston he broke his collarbone. He was back. He was a bit stoned. He's like, I want to fucking race. That wasn't happening. He did well in Sachsenring. And no, I didn't see the Moto2 race, but I saw some of his qualifyings in free practices, and he was doing well. But then again, is he ready?
I don't see enough raw speed with him though. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't see enough raw speed with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now look, saying that the Aprilia main factory team have 2 new riders that have plenty of fucking raw speed, right? They're going to be first and foremost. I know they said that Trackhouse will have full works equipment for 2025 as well, but I think it's going to be a little bit behind the 2 boys. So I think will be pretty interesting to see where they're going on this, if you know what I mean. But like that Trackhouse seat is definitely one that I think there's going to be a lot of arguing over whether it's going to be a young rider. Does Raul need some stability in the team of an older rider to follow? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of questions there. Whereas Joe coming in, then Raul, who might not have the experience to be that team leader yet. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
They overanalyze the damn psychological aspect of riding in all this.
Well, yeah, but look, at the end of the day, right, when you look at it, like Maverick never got out of Alesia's shadow. Do you know what I mean? But Maverick was the next big world beater, and you would think naturally in time that would have just come over, right? And then when when Aprilia, in my view, got another world beater, Maverick shied away straight away. Do you know what I mean? And like jumped to a team that will fucking sack him on a whim. Like,
Yeah.
like I love KTM for their development and this, that, and the other. I hate the way they treat riders. And like, even if you have a contract with them, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to ride for them. Do you know what I mean? And you can look at Paul Espargaro for this.
Oh,
you know? Yeah, like he had a valid contract to be a rider, and all of a sudden there was now. Don't get me wrong, there was definitely a few dollars changed hands in that you're not riding for us and whatnot, and we give you this, that, and the other. But saying that it's just something as a man that you have a thing, and you're like, if you make an agreement, you stick to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Maverick has gone slightly downhill a little bit.
Well, Maverick's starting to blame the bike. Do you know what I mean? And I can't believe
that happened. Didn't that happen at Yamaha? Wasn't he blaming something about the engine or?
Yeah, to blow it up.
Yeah, he's trying to blow it up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is an interesting couple of weeks. And then Alicia Espargaro was on about why he decided to sign for HRC. And I can kind of get it, but I don't really get it. You know, like he kind of said, my job, everything that I could have achieved with Aprilia has been done. I'm kind of looking at it myself, and I'm like, is it? Like you brought the bike from this point, right, where no one wanted to ride it, to almost being a championship winning bike. You know, your best friend has just joined the team in your place that you willingly gave up. Would you not want to be there when that bike crosses the line to win that world championship? And then you can go tick. Do you know what I mean? But I genuinely think that there was a massive payday from Honda. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Now, reading his statement,
he says, I'm not here because of money, and then he starts discussing things and you're going, oh well, that's because of money, and that's because of money, and that's because of money.
Yeah, money. But like he's going in there, and it's kind of funny because, you know, the way, I don't know how many of you have ever worked in the corporate world, right? But if you're in a senior management role and whatever, and this new manager comes in, right, you always kind of see them coming in and you explain how the system works. And, oh, well, I'm going to get that fucking change. And you're like, yeah, best of luck there, fucking buddy. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't know how fucking things work inside here yet. I'm going to make sure that... And then you talk to him 6 months later and say, oh, by the way, how'd you get out with that change? Oh, yeah, I wasn't listening to you. I was like, I fucking told you. Like, you just spent fucking 6 months of your life trying to get something fucking done that you were, you know, that I told you on day one was never going to fucking happen. And I think reading his kind of statements, like he was like, oh, I want to be in the garage, I want to be part of the team, you know, they've promised that they'll listen to me and all of this. And I'm like, yeah, they'll listen to you. They'll get your feedback on what the Aprilia was like, you know what I mean? And then they'll fucking kick you down the fucking road and here, try this, bucko. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, that's the nature of this business. Like, they have Luca Marini in there.
Out back. And the door closed behind him.
Yeah. And it's just like, they have Luca Marini, who was also like, well, like if they get someone from Aprilia or KTM, they haven't listened to fucking Marini. Do you know what I mean? Although he got a point, and his first point in Saxon, right? No, he only got that point though because people got done for tire pressures in front of him.
Oh.
That's pretty much
so
it.
He wouldn't, so he wouldn't got a point. But yeah, look, he's on a solid 1 point, right? Yeah. And you know, what have they brought? Listen to him from the Ducati. Like, they have Zarco. He is the valuable asset there, right? Because he was the one that was testing majority of the Ducati stuff, you know. So so I don't know, look, I just find it weird that in their mind is a completely wrong expectation of what he's going to achieve. And for me, it just didn't make sense that he's like, oh, my work with Aprilia is now done, you know.
That's it's all written for them, though. You know that. It's just all written.
Well, I don't think so yet because he's still under contract with the Aprilia, so he can't be getting. Honda won't have any control over what he says. Well, they can't. So yeah, look, I think it's funny, like, you know what I mean. That I think he's. Well, don't get me wrong, I do like the guy. I just not sure that he's being realistic of what the expectation that he's going to be listened to. He's going to be this, because what's very clear from Honda is that they haven't listened. They didn't listen to Marquez. They didn't listen to all of these people that are told them you're going in the wrong direction. And they found themselves in this shithole. So, look, I don't know. I do think it will be interesting to see what actually happens. Like, can Aleix make that difference? Is he going to be test riding enough to make that difference? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough position, but I think I agree with him somewhat with the Aprilia. I feel like it's close to the top. I mean, Maverick, he's been on the podium once or twice maybe with the Aprilia, but I think they're changing. Aleix and Maverick they got families and everything. You can see them kind of like being a little bit more safer, and so to get that bike where it needs to be, you have to be on the edge. So, and I don't think they have that edge anymore, or maybe it's stayed in the way a little bit. But
yeah, it's kind of weird. I suppose it's just people getting to that stage of life. Do you know what I mean?
Rossi did it.
Yeah, well, Rossi did the old job again and got the old fuel injection going. So baby number 2 is on the way now.
Oh.
So he's definitely not firing blanks at his age anyway. Do you know what I mean?
What, 40, 43, 40?
Yeah, he's already 43 or 44 anyway. So
you know, I was 43, 44. I'd knock up a broad if I was just walking past her. For God's sake, I swear to God. You know, I was like Norm at the Cheers. Remember him? You know, but I went to the
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the girl's like, "Hey, what did you?"
Oh no! Here I go again. Yeah, bump. Yeah. So look, it's a good week in the Rossi household, but
what does he have? A boy or a girl?
A girl, I think.
Girl now. I think
he's having a second one.
Yeah, he probably want a boy.
I don't know.
Italians? You bet your ass he does.
Yeah, but I think it's a girl. A girl coming again, so he'll have to go again. He'll have to get more practice.
Big family.
Yeah.
Or change women.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't even go there. I can't cope with that shit now. Yeah. So look,
not married, is he?
Who, Rossi? No, I don't think so. I don't think he married her.
You know, why would he get married, for Christ's sake?
Right. But then, so Franco is at Pramac, so he's gonna have to go somewhere else. Or what do you think about that?
I think Pramac, or I think Franco's going to go back to VR46.
I can't believe that. What is with that guy? Does he have
VR46? Yeah, I think so,
pictures of somebody or something? Does he have like
Ucio? We got pictures of Ucio.
Yeah. Does he have pictures of Rossi in the dress or something?
Well, you see, it will be very damaging to the VR46 if they have a rider and they have a spot and they can't, and they won't give it to him. They would be cutting him completely loose. And himself and Valentino are really, really tight. Like
we're talking millions of dollars in a contract. How tight can you be?
Yeah, but you see,
that much money, I'll kiss Valentino Rossi on the lips for that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look, we also know you do it free too. Do you know what I mean? So
no tongue.
No tongue. Yeah. That's the $1 million bit.
I wish they could give him 2 teams, like a Yamaha and a Ducati team. That would be interesting, but you know, in the fantasy world.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, like like for me, when I look at the Valentino Rossi Academy, like there is no more academy. You know, it's like 5 MotoGP riders or 6 MotoGP riders or ex MotoGP riders, all just now going training. It was to bring the likes of Bagnaia and those through, right? And as soon as they were through, they started getting rid of the Moto 3 team. As soon as they were all through Moto 2, they like the only one that is a VR46 Academy rider properly is Vietti, and he's not on a VR46 machine. He's on the KTM IO KTM right team in Moto 2. But again, he's not even making the grade in Moto 2 to be like, say, yes, let's promote you into MotoGP. So like realistically, if there's a ride there and Franco, like I have, and I'll be honest, right? Franco had a shit 3 years, right? In the last 4 or 5 races, he has vastly improved. Vastly. You know, you can see he's starting to understand the Ducati. I would not be surprised to see Franco on the podium 2 or 3 times by the end of the season. I would not be surprised.
Oh, this season. I thought you were going to say next. This season.
No, this season. Because this season is his only chance of getting or keeping that factory bike. Because next season, if he doesn't do well this season, he's going to ride next season on the same fucking bike that he's currently on.
Oh, I got
10. So it's only 3
Irish money.
Huh?
I'll bet you a 10 spot on that because I want some Irish money.
I'll bet you a fucking Middleton extra rare bottle of whiskey.
No, I went. Well, whatever the hell that is, but I'll send you money.
That's like $180.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're on.
Yeah. I reckon he's going to get on the podium
this season.
A couple of times.
More than once. Let's just say more.
All right, more than once.
More than once.
So how many twins? So next year they only get 3 factory bikes.
There's only 3 factory bikes next season.
Okay.
So is that going like if Franco Morbidelli does pick it up, will Digi get that bike? Or will he? So
they wouldn't give it to Frankie if he moved to 46.
You know, that's odd having 3 bikes. I wouldn't.
I thought that too, but it's actually not. It's balanced. It's perfectly balanced. If you're a data guy, you have 3 and 3.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, you split it. You split the data in half. You got 3 23s and 3 24s.
Yeah, I realize that, but the 320 the last model year really doesn't pull you all that much. So I only look at the 3 current year bikes.
Yeah, but you see everything changes with the tires, right? So what you're looking at is like if you're using your last year data points of 3 and 3, or just say for instance, and you're looking at it and saying, okay, so next year it'll be the 24s. This is their tire wear. The 25s, they're going to be searching for how to find this thing. But what they can look at that is they can go, okay, if we can get the 24s to go faster, we know our development is going in the right way for the 25 if we do this. So for me, it makes sense to balance it for the 2. Saying that, there could be the other side of the coin is that they might just only want to have one works rider outside of the nest. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this too much of a pain in the fucking arse to have?
They've been saying that for a long time. Yeah.
To have 4 works riders. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let's have the 2 heirs and the spare. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, because remember they were excited about that, and they're like, well, we don't need this. The only reason they had to give them money to take them to the first place. Everybody turned them down because it was too much work. Like Yamaha and everybody turned them down because it was too much work. And now you got to make another bike, a 2027 bike, in the interim.
Yeah. Look, I think there's a lot of stuff. Like I don't think like they're going to have 424 bikes, well 8 really, next season, right? To refresh those, 0 development. It's actually making money for Jam. Okay, it's a drain on resource of people, but as we talked about, there's a system within Ferrari where they have the clientele, right? And that's all young, upcoming, or new, or even outgoing engineers that are not really relevant, let's just say.
Yeah.
And they go and they run those cars for wealthy billionaires around the world. So my fat ass, if I had a couple of 100 million, I could contact Ferrari. Well, sorry, you have to be invited
Thank you.
by Ferrari. And you can then buy Michael Schumacher's 2002 Formula One car, right? And you can tell Ferrari, I want to drive at this circuit, this circuit, this circuit, this circuit. And they send a full team off over to those days that you want to race. They also have Ferrari racing days and all of this stuff, right? But they run the car for you. Of course, you're paying a nice, lovely subscription and the whole lot for that.
Oh,
and
yeah. You don't actually own the car, that one?
No, you own the car, but every time you want to use it, you pay a premium. And it's kind of like that within the Corsa department of Ducati, right? You have the full Corsa, which will be very much so focused on this year's bike. This year's everything to do with this year's bike, and then they have the other team that would be things. So it's not much of a it's a pain in the arse in ways, but it's not much of a drain on the resource of development and testing and whatever. It's actually aiding in the way of finance, getting money in. So like it's an extra 8 million a year for the bikes. Just say that's not a lot, or that's not money that the likes of any MotoGP team would turn down. Do you know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm.
Almost forgot something, but I sent both of you. I think it's okay. Did you see that Disney has the Ducati World?
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah.
Is that great marketing or what?
Yeah, but you have Ferrari World also then in Abu Dhabi. Same sort of setup. Do you know what I mean? In a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a theme park.
Oh, good marketing there too.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant because like on Disney Plus, you can actually watch MotoGP. Is it Disney Plus? One of them you can watch MotoGP.
Did you see the ride? You actually set up on the ride, like you're on a bike.
On a bike. Yeah. They have that for.
I was like, I think
Ferrari
fly off that thing. Like, whoa!
Yeah.
Luigi, go pick up in time.
Go, wake up! Hey, go, fuck yourself!
Little guys with a little thing out, coming out with a little thing that says "doctor" on it. The little squares that come out.
Yeah. No. It's class. It definitely is class.
Little paramedics come right out.
Anyway, I suppose on that bombshell, go watch Disney. We'll wrap it up there for today, and we will see you all again next week, next Monday.
Hasta la vista, babe.
Have a good one. Talk soon.